Maybe I should start wearing more rubber.
There you go.
Welcome to Platform F. I'm with our first international guest in our podcast, Pusckatt, and Mr. International Robert
Mhm.
26
Correct.
in 2022, just to be
Correct.
clear.
Yes. It gets a
Thank you.
little confusing sometimes.
Thank you so much for talking to me
Mhm.
on this very short visit you are here.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure.
How did you find sleep and your experience last few days?
So I think the experience for me is always welcoming, and I mean, it's always an overall good experience. That's why I think it keeps bringing me back, even for even a short period of time of like 2 days.
That's a massive commitment. I don't know how you do that.
I think the community is worth it though.
I'm pretty sure they'll love to hear this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll love to hear it. It was a really good time, and we are just going to go to Squeak as well.
Yes, definitely looking forward to Squeak.
Just crunching this in just
Hmm.
between few events. It's a busy weekend.
Of course.
I want to know about your life before the
Before
international
all of this,
titles and all these things before it's getting too busy.
so I think it was interesting. It was the journey of trying to find myself, right? Understanding and knowing that I was a Kingster to heart, but not understanding if there were people that look like me or identify as me. So I think that was the catalyst of the challenge. Because when I think about Kingsters at that time being more naive and a novice into it, I always thought about like the hypermasculinity component, right? And I know I purposely don't try to fit into that mold. So I think it was about doing research to even see if it was like a community that I even wanted to even be involved with.
And where did you grow up, and how was that journey to get into international rubber title?
Oh, the journey getting into it was nothing that I foreseen happening. Again, it goes back to like when it started, I just knew I was a kinky person and just trying to feel a sense of belonging, right? And then I remember starting out having the thought process of like, I'm just a kinkster. I'm just gonna be on the sidelines and continually to stay on the sidelines. I had no interest of like joining boards or doing titles. I was
Yeah,
really against it.
yeah.
Um, but as I kind of got involved with the community and kind of found a sense of community, it just propels you to kind of look around and I always have to ask myself, if not me, then who?
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to kind of show up being truly who you are to help inspire others who at one point start out like I did, like didn't have a feel like a sense of belonging.
It's good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh.
That's good. Based on some of the conversations we had earlier today, I know it wasn't easy to getting into where you are at the moment. There had been a lot of challenges over the time as well. Is there anything particular that you think that it was a major challenge when you started and then you overcame?
I think for me it was just the our your inner self, right?
Yeah,
The inner self of feeling like, do I belong in a space? And I think I would love to inspire everyone that don't let that hold you back. Um, Push through it. I understand a lot of times, especially as being a black individual in a lot of these spaces that are like a lot of hyper cis white male, in the sense of not feeling like you are welcomed. Push through, right?
yeah,
Find the one or two people that you are comfortable with and just keep moving forward, because that's what helps propel the community forward. So I think that was the biggest struggle, is really the inner thoughts of myself, right?
yeah.
Even when those were telling me that you belong, you're welcome, I still had this whole sense of, well, I don't present mask enough, or I'm not presenting the way that I think the community or the bars would want me to present. So I feel like it kind of definitely held me back.
Yeah,
But it's like once I kind of like realized my self worth, I use that as a tool to propel me forward.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great advice. We are our own worst critics
Hmm.
sometimes, and we forget that um, we have to keep going and improve ourselves,
Correct.
and find ourselves, and be happy around the things we do
Hmm.
and our lives, but it's not easy
No,
sometimes.
no. I think it, like I tell people, it's a learned skill.
Yeah,
It's definitely a learned skill, and the only way that you can tackle that skill is to push yourself just a little bit,
yeah.
right? And understand when you need that safe space of like, okay, this is too much to pull back. But that's why I'm always big. I'm a huge advocate of like creating a support system, right? And sometimes we think the support system has to be physically there, physically next to you. But even for me, I found that entering the community, I did a lot of research and I did a lot of like contacts through social media.
Mm,
Social media is a very good tool for especially when you're looking for the sense of belonging, or like if you're looking for a representation that you don't see in your area. The social media tool, you can really like tap into different individuals, and you really kind of help support each other that way. So that's a good way of like introducing and kind of like pushing yourself outside of the boundary that you normally would, right? And you always have that safe space to be like, okay, I need to retreat and go back into my safe space,
yeah.
regroup, and then come back up and show up. So I think that's very important. You got to have a support system.
I can't even drink.
Just a conversation.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. You can do this. We definitely need this to hear.
Hmm.
Like, it's right time to have this conversation.
But I think
Yeah.
we have to realize, and we talked about a little earlier about moving the needle, right? A lot of times we get so focused on trying to move the needle so fast that we don't pay attention to the smaller moves. And I
Yeah.
think when we start really paying attention to the smaller moves, that's how we can get to the bigger moves. But it's a gradual process, and every community has their struggles with this with the same with the same things. It's just some communities have been at it a lot longer than others, and I think that that's what people have to kind of like pay attention to. And we talked about, when we talk about like the international realm of stuff, right? And how when you're picking judges and when you're picking individuals to come in, understand that a lot of times the individuals have not even been to your community. So how can they relate to your
Mm,
community and the struggles and what's going on in that community? So it's just about kind of homing down and understanding the triumphs that you are making with the little move within the smaller needle moves, and then the needle will eventually continue to get bigger. But all communities have struggled, and they still struggle with the same issues. Same issues. I mean, think about it. Like we talked about it. You still have so many titles where it's the first person of color winning the title, and we're like in
in
2025,
25.
right? So and that's across like globally. This is like a global thing.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to like that's the one step, and it's about how do you stay visible and how do you show up. And like I've always mentioned, like I know and I'm very clear with my message is that I'm not for the masses. I'm not trying to be for the masses. I'm always for the underdog. I'm always for the one that's sitting on the sideline, because they are the ones who have the hardest time going into a space. Um, and we really have to realize that, because even me, as whether you take the international part out or you take, it took me a lot, but I also have a certain privilege over those who, especially like our trans siblings, who don't have that presence, right? Who's still struggling to be seen and being heard
Mm,
and feeling like a sense of belonging. So we always have to check, we all of us have to always check ourselves on our privilege, to understand that like we have to support the next person, right? And it's unfortunate that sometimes we have to go through these things, but I'm like, it's really about showing up and being truly who you are and grounded to inspire that next person.
yeah. Sometimes I feel we have Jay and David here as
Hmm.
well. So I'm just looking out of the camera all this time. You can just come and say
Yeah.
hi. Just show your face. No, yeah.
This is the part that my screen probably right
Show your face. Show your face. Okay, don't break my setup, please. I was reflecting on some of these things happening to us at the moment in the world, and
Hmm.
also when I think about it, I've realized that throughout the history, people have gone through things like
Hmm.
this again and again. Maybe this is our time to go through these
Hmm.
things, and we have to be very careful how we respond to things, how we react to things. Every generation have their own struggles, and they
Correct.
have, like, they get this opportunity to change the world
Hmm.
by their actions.
Yes.
And maybe this is our time, and we whatever we do at the moment will change how the future is
Hmm.
going to
It's
be.
a footprint,
Yeah,
and that's why we talked about it earlier. And I was like, it's the timing, and a lot of times we want it to go a lot faster, but sometimes it's the right timing for the right cause and for the right movement, and the right person helps make a shift happen,
yeah.
right? And a lot of times, and the shift might not even happen right then, but when you start looking back, like a couple years or something, like you will start seeing like the shift start happening. Like you look up, and now in your home bar that you represent, you got a POC person. Like everywhere I looked, I'm seeing the image, the
Yeah.
image, right? So that opened that door, right? And then it's the ongoing conversations to like keep it going. But it's like, had you not been a representative, when would the bar have that type of imagery around, right? So I think it's just a struggle that we all go through, and we all have to be that good steward, be that ambassador that we want to see. And I think that's where the challenge come
Be the
in, be
change.
the change that you want to see.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are fetish.
Mhm.
I would love to hear about that as well.
So being the We Are Fetish ambassador, I was very honored to have it bestowed on me. But it is the mission, right? It's what it stands for. It's like no matter what fetish, no what part of the community you belong, you are welcome. And so it's like taking that message globally is very important. And being that ambassador of like and having those images out there, like we don't have to be in these silos, right? So often you hear a leather person is like, I can only do leather. I can't question whether or not they can indulge into like rubber or sneakers or sportswear. We all are the same, right? We all are kinky. We all are here. We have our love and interest in certain things, but we're all one. And I think that's very important because you hear over and over again, like sometimes different communities feel like they're superior over the next, and that's false. You're not superior than the next. It might be more prominent, it might be more visible, but you're not superior than the next group. And it's about how do we start bridging those gaps to understand that we're all just one, and we all can coexist in the same spaces, and enjoy the same things.
When you think of the community that you have and the people that you have all around the world, what three things come to your mind?
I see progression. I see that there is a definitely movement of progression, especially as the younger generations and the newer generations are coming in. I see a big shift in all aspects of the community. So I would definitely say progression, diversity, more welcoming. Um, I think all communities are striving to become more open, to even outsiders and bringing them in, and the love of sharing their culture and their experiences. I think that's very enrichment. And to me, it's like a big family. I think family would be the next thing. Some are like, the cousins that we kind of distance from.
Because since we don't want to see or talk.
Right. But at the end of the day, is the realization of, we're all just here to have fun,
Yeah.
right? We're all here to experience these different things. So I think it's so good. Like when I see someone with a leather title and represent leather, indulge it in rubber, right? I mean, that's the progression of it because years ago you wouldn't see that. And I've been in I've been in spaces where a leather title holder would be like, I want to go to this event, but ooh, maybe I shouldn't wear a rubber because I'm currently the leather ambassador for this title. And I'm kind of like, you can still indulge in other things. It does not strip away from your title. It does not strip away from who you are. But it's those kind of conversations, right? That's still like engraved in people and how people think. And I just think that it's very important that overall we realize like we can indulge in it intersects in so many different ways, right? Of what we do and experience that we do. So just try stuff, and embrace that other community, and bring them in, right? Bring them in. So when you see a rubberist, um, engage and want to come to a party or an event, invite them in, and don't just invite them in and let them sit on the corner. Like really
Yeah.
invite them in, have these candid conversations, make them feel welcome, introduce them to other folks because at the end of the day, we're all human and we all just kinky and doing the same shit, right? Um, and I think as long as we keep doing that, the needle will keep moving. And the one thing that I can definitely say is the movement that I see with the generations that are coming in, that's the direction they're going. And I always tell people like the ones that are stuck, they're either going to get in line and more so conform to like how the community is moving, or they're gonna disappear. And that's the reality of it. And we all have to be good stewards of understanding that we are the ambassadors at the moment, but there's another generation that's coming in behind us. So how do we prepare and be ready to pass that torch off to them and let them continue this journey and continue this movement? Because at some point, I'm gonna be the old one, right? I'm gonna be the old one, and there's gonna be things that's gonna come up, and I might not fully understand it, but I have to be open minded to like this is where the community is going, right? And how do we keep on instilling and teaching some of the where we come from and some of the values and some of the things that have already been laid out, but we build upon it to make sure that is not so is more inclusive to the community now, and it represents the community now. And I think that's the big thing, because I think a lot of times we don't realize that where we are now and where the community was 20 years ago is different, right? It's different. So we just got to keep the needle moving to like and what it represents for the community now.
And that's how we grow as a
Mhm.
community, and that's how we evolve.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would be in like, I don't know, like
I know.
1700s
I'll be
forever.
I'll be sitting here in a black cat suit. Nothing wrong with the black cat suit, but it was. But the thing is, you look 20 years ago. That's what rubber was. Rubber was very much the heavy industrial aesthetic, and solid black cat suit was like the staple, and it's still the staple. But now you look up and you look at rubbers, you're like, it's so creative, so many different colors, so much like freedom and play with it. And it goes to show you how the community continues to evolve, because it wasn't the transparent latex, it was just the black. That was like the staple. So yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
This has been a brief chat, but it's very insightful, and I'm really glad that I could talk to you.
Oh,
So,
thank you. It's always a pleasure to
thank
take
you.
the time.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Oh my God. Yes, that.